January 2026 was a difficult period for Anton Daniels. At the time, he was involved in a very public feud with Corey Holcomb. Around that same period, another name also became part of the conversation, a woman known as Ma, or Pop Culture Ma, who frequently appeared on Anton's live panels. She was a married woman from the Washington, D.C. area, and viewers often pointed out a few things about her. She was Afro-Latina, had a noticeable on-camera presence, and it's no secret that many people believed she fit the type Anton seemed to prefer. Throughout that period, Anton occasionally hinted that his relationship with Ma may have gone beyond simply creating content together. Whether those hints were serious or not became a topic of speculation, but everyone knows how that situation eventually played out. Ma eventually stepped away, and while the details of her marriage were never fully clear publicly, she largely faded from the YouTube spotlight. These days, she's still trying to build her own platform, while Anton Daniels has continued moving forward with his own content. Looking back at those live streams, it's worth pointing out how relationships can sometimes develop within the content creation space. Live streaming naturally builds communities, and creators frequently invite guests onto their shows. In many cases, those guests are smaller creators, including women who may only have a few thousand subscribers and are looking for more exposure. Appearing alongside a much larger creator can significantly increase their visibility, which is why these collaborations happen so often. Because of that dynamic, people sometimes speculate about personal relationships forming between creators. Rumors and assumptions can spread quickly, regardless of whether there's any evidence to support them. As a result, viewers often connect professional collaborations with personal relationships, even when the facts aren't publicly known. That brings me to a stream from Room 9 that my guy Shaq2X reacted to. Shout out to him. It's been great watching his channel continue to grow. He's been putting together some strong content lately. During that stream, Anton Daniels was accused of being overly invested in a woman named Molly. I'd seen Molly around before in a few black YouTube spaces, including some Anton's chats, but I'd never really paid much attention to her channel. What caught my attention when watching Shaq2X's reaction was that something about Anton's tone seemed different when he started talking like this.
What Molly says as far as her opinion is
he's not my daddy.
She gets a bad rap because she says the thing that women are really thinking and doing. What people don't know about Molly is that Molly is very much the definition of, in my opinion, a traditional wife, right?
All right, before I get into the rest of this, let me say this. If you've watched Molly's content before, you've probably seen the reputation she has online. A lot of people criticize her and claim that much of her content comes across as being negative toward men, or specifically toward black men. At the same time, many viewers also point out that she's an attractive woman. Based on what's been discussed publicly, it also appears that Anton Daniels has met her in person. When Anton Daniels referred to Molly as wife material, that immediately caught people's attention. During his reaction, that Shaq2X even joked, "Y'all heard it, Molly is a traditional wife." He then pointed out what he saw as a contradiction, saying that Molly regularly tells women not to focus on men, but instead to focus on making money and building their own success. His reaction was basically, "What are you talking about?" You could tell he genuinely couldn't believe what he was hearing and thought Anton's comments didn't make much sense. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't watched a lot of Room 9, and it's mostly because the streams tend to be pretty long. No disrespect to the people on the panel, because I think Brother 2K is cool, and Brother Slam has some good moments as well. I don't really know everyone else personally, but they do have interesting conversations. For me, though, the streams can just be a little lengthy. As for Brother Slam, again, this isn't meant as disrespect, it's simply my observation. From what I've seen, he doesn't always criticize Anton Daniels when Anton does something that viewers consider questionable. There have definitely been moments where I've seen him say, "Hey, don't do that," or "Don't go there." But overall, it seems like he tries to support Anton as much as he can until it reaches a point where he no longer feels he can. Even someone like Slam, who many people believe has a good relationship with Anton outside of YouTube, appeared to recognize what some viewers viewed as a contradiction in Anton's comments. And that brings us to what he said next.
A woman who spews hate towards men
The majority of the time that she
you got a personal
speaks,
feeling towards her
I
person.
don't have
That's
no
not
personal. I don't have a
brainwashed.
personal feeling towards anybody.
My daddy wouldn't let me be brainwashed.
This isn't personal,
I'm
Anton. You are
sorry.
caping to the maximum for somebody who advocates. Yes, for somebody who advocates for hate towards men.
He ended up agreeing with what DatShack2X was saying. His point was essentially, listen, this woman has built a reputation for being critical of men, and you're defending her way too much. Anton pushed back against Slim's criticism, but according to the speaker, that's something Anton often does. He argues that Anton tends to dismiss criticism rather than directly addressing it, describing that approach as inconsistent with positions Anton has taken in the past. He also compares it to his own previous disagreements with Anton, saying he felt his evidence and arguments were brushed aside. Even so, he makes it clear that he's not looking to start another debate, and says he doesn't have any personal issue with Anton, preferring to let him continue doing his own thing. The broader criticism, however, is that Anton's positions appear to change depending on the situation. The speaker argues that Anton frequently reacts to content across Black YouTube and is often very critical of Black women whom he believes are hostile toward Black men or whose views he strongly disagrees with. But according to the speaker, when it's someone Anton personally likes, that criticism seems to disappear. He believes that's where the inconsistency becomes most noticeable. From the speaker's perspective, that's the central issue. He argues that Anton's standards seem to shift from one situation to another, making it difficult to identify a consistent position. In his opinion, the only message Anton consistently repeats is his criticism of the current state of Black culture and the Black community. Beyond that, he believes Anton frequently contradicts himself from week to week. The speaker goes on to claim that Anton sometimes makes statements designed to create viral moments or generate attention online. In his view, that approach eventually becomes difficult to maintain because older clips remain available for comparison. He also suggests that Anton's tone and opinions can change dramatically depending on the day, leading him to make comments that may not always align with things he has previously said. Slim then returned to the discussion and made another point. He said, "I don't need anyone defending me from anybody. What I'm doing is holding you accountable." His argument was that the issue wasn't personal, it was about consistency in how similar situations are handled. The conversation then shifted toward how Anton manages discussions on his live panels. According to the speaker, Anton has a history of allowing disagreements between women to continue without much intervention, something he says also happened during the Leif Network era. He argues that when female panelists become disrespectful toward one another, Anton is often willing to let the exchange play out. However, he believes Anton responds differently when men are involved, claiming that male participants are more likely to be interrupted or moderated. Anton also argues that Molly, in particular, appeared to receive more freedom during discussions than other guests. In his opinion, Anton's treatment of her was influenced by the fact that he found her attractive. Then he questions whether the same level of leniency would have been shown if she didn't fit that description. Finally, the speaker raises another point related to favoritism. He references Anton's past comments about people criticizing his daughter because she's Black, then questions whether Anton has shown the same level of public support or favoritism toward women with darker skin tones who have appeared on his platform. He leaves that as a question for viewers to consider.
It did seem more like Molly and Anton would agree on, or Anton would agree with Molly on certain things. I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and act like that wasn't the case.
Anton be right. I'm sorry. One day y'all gonna understand he be right.
But I do say that I've been noticing personally, even before, and not necessarily against like Slimmy or Molly, but I have been noticing even before Mimi came on that Anton has been trying to kind of take a step back and let, even in my situation, he's been kind of letting us.
Not with you. Not with you.
So even Brittany was essentially making the same point that many other people had already been making. She tried to say it respectfully, but her message was basically, "I'm starting to notice it too." Meanwhile, Anton's response came across as if the issue wasn't with him, but with everyone else pointing it out. According to the speaker, that's one of the biggest reasons many people have mixed opinions about Anton on YouTube. He believes Anton has become a successful online personality largely because controversy generates attention. But in terms of being someone people consistently trust, collaborate with, or view as dependable, the speaker argues that Anton hasn't built that kind of reputation. He points to several examples from the past, claiming Anton has publicly defended certain creators or inserted himself into major conversations when it benefited his own platform. In the speaker's opinion, Anton tends to align himself with whatever topic is getting the most attention at the moment, even if that means taking positions that don't always appear consistent over time. The speaker goes on to say that if Anton is actually pursuing a relationship with Molly, he believes that situation could eventually end the same way previous rumors surrounding his interactions with other women have. He also argues that using live streams to develop personal relationships is something he doesn't agree with, particularly when the creator already has the financial resources and opportunities to meet people outside of YouTube. His view is that those relationships should remain separate from content creation. He says this criticism isn't limited to Anton, but applies to any creator who regularly uses live streams for personal relationships while also presenting themselves as someone who lectures others about problems within the Black community. According to the speaker, it's contradictory to criticize toxic behavior while simultaneously giving a platform to people he personally views as contributing to that same environment simply because they're on good terms. From his perspective, that's where the inconsistency becomes impossible to ignore. He argues that someone can't regularly criticize the culture while also defending behavior they would normally condemn. He also questions whether it's appropriate for someone who publicly identifies as a Christian and speaks about morality to judge others if they are not consistently living by those same standards themselves. The speaker says he finds the entire situation almost unbelievable. He even references the late David Carroll, repeating one of his well-known sayings that Hollywood scriptwriters couldn't make this up, to emphasize just how ironic he believes the situation has become. He also acknowledges that some viewers may disagree with his opinion or accuse him of being a hater. However, he argues that his criticism is based on what he sees publicly rather than personal dislike. In his view, situations like this are one reason many Black content creators struggle to earn broader respect. He expands that criticism beyond Anton, arguing that the problems he sees across parts of Black YouTube include hypocrisy, misleading business practices, questionable online courses, unrealistic income claims, and creators making promises they can't deliver. In his opinion, those patterns have become increasingly common over the years. Having spent more than a decade creating content himself, the speaker says he's watched this space evolve for over 11 years. He believes the level of inconsistency and what he describes as grifting is more noticeable now than at any point since he started on the platform. According to him, when creators have been online for 6 or 7 years or longer, viewers eventually begin comparing old clips with current statements, making contradictions much easier to spot. He also makes the distinction between changing your opinion because you've grown and changing your opinion simply because it's convenient. He says he's personally changed his views on several topics over the years and has publicly admitted when he believed he was wrong. As one example, he mentions that his thinking around Pan-Africanism evolved over time as he gained new perspectives. Rather than pretending he'd always held the same view, he says he acknowledged the change openly because he believed growth required honesty. According to the speaker, that's the difference he doesn't see from Anton or certain other creators. In his opinion, they rarely acknowledge past mistakes or explain why their views have changed. Instead, he believes they simply move from one position to another without accountability, which he says is both frustrating and at times oddly entertaining to watch. So what do you think about the situation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back again with another episode of Dust Celebrity Junk. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll catch you in the next one.